So let's start right with the explanation since we read the original text already. He says, may Allah have mercy upon him. Ash-sharh, the explanation. Al-mubtada'u, the mubtada, the nominal subject, yani the subject of a nominal sentence. The initiated, started subject that needs to be informed about. هو الاسم المجرد عن العوامل اللفظية. It is, it is, al-ism, a noun. So this is definition. The scholars don't want anything in the definition that shouldn't be there. Everything that should be there, and anything that shouldn't be there, so you can narrow it down. هو الاسم, it's a noun, so it's not going to be a verb, it's not going to be a particle. المجرد عن العوامل اللفظية, a noun that is devoid of pronounced agents, pronounced influencing words. We said what that means last time. It's devoid of that, so that means its status in i'rab is not dependent on some word that's affecting it, which means it's a word that has a state in i'rab, but not because of anything that you pronounce. Remember, if you just start with the word merely, yani, if you just say a word, just say some word in Arabic, like Zaid, without putting it in a sentence. Zaid. So what you'll find a lot is that people will just put dhamma on it. Zaydun, just to start, just as a presentation of the word alone. But what's correct, according to Sheikh Ahmed Zaini Dahlan, in his explanation of Al-Ajur Rumiyah, is that when you just present that word like that without it being related to any other words, then its status is not marfu' or mansub or majroor. Its status is mawquf, it's suspended. Suspended. So you're not going to put a dhamma or fathah or kasrah. That's what's correct, according to that. Yani, because there's nothing influencing it. So why would it be Zaydun over Zaydin or Zaydan if there's nothing influencing it? So it's just Zayd only. So the mubtada, does it have something influencing it? No, it doesn't. If you mean something that you're pronouncing, if you mean some word that you're saying, no, it doesn't have anything that influences it. So why isn't it just like Zayd here with nothing on it? So here, this word lafziya, verbalized. So let's remove that word real quick and see what he's saying. The mubtada, it is the noun that is devoid of agents. If we stop there, it is the noun that is devoid of agents. There's no word that's affecting it. He didn't say that, though. If he were to say that, if that's his definition, then it's going to be like what we're talking about now. Just suspended. There's nothing that's affecting it. There wouldn't be any reason for it to be in any state. But it is in a state, it's in a state of rafa. Then how could it get into a state if there's no agents to affect it? Then that's why we're qualifying our statements. There is some sort of an agent that's affecting it. It's an abstract one, not lafziya. This type of word in a sentence is not devoid of any agent in any way whatsoever. Rather, it's devoid of an agent that you would pronounce, anything that you would say. هو الاسم المجرد عن العوامل اللفظية. It's the noun that is devoid of verbalized agents. So then what's its agent? Its agent is the starting, the commencement itself. So the commencement has the power to render that word into a state of rafa'. That's called amilun ma'nawi, an abstract agent. هو الاسم المجرد عن العوامل اللفظية للإسناد. It is the noun that is devoid of verbalized agents put forth for formulating a connection. Put forth for formulating a connection. Meaning to make a sentence, to string your words together. فالاسم jins. So now he wants to break down the definition. He says, so ism, the mubtada is an ism. The ism is a jins. Jins means that's the type of thing it is. So the mubtada, the type of thing it is that it's a noun. Okay, so it's a noun, but it can't be any noun, so we'll have to qualify it. But if you say noun, yani, let me say it this way. The type of thing it is that it's a noun. So we were saying just a few minutes ago, you always want to include whatever should be included and exclude whatever should not be included. That's how you narrow your definitions down. So when we say noun, that's pretty open. If we were to stop there, that means leaves it open. So that means any noun can be a mubtada. So let's see what he wants to tell us. So he says, falismu, in the definition, calling it a noun refers to the type of thing it is. Yashmalu sarih kazaid. So that includes a regular noun, like Zaid, a man's name. Fi nahwi, in the example of here, Zaydun qa'im, Zayd's a stander. You know, I have to squeeze is into the translation. If I want to translate that second word as a noun, if I wanted to translate it as a verb, then there's still going to be a verb there. Zayd stands. That's looser though. Qa'im is the one who does the act. Yani the one who has the attributes. Qa'im is who has the attribute of qiyam, standing. So Zayd is a stander. Zaydun qa'imun. So Zayd, that's a regular noun. Wal mu'awwal, and the interpreted noun, or the infinitive. The infinitive. We talked about the infinitive. Here it comes back. It will be now very clear, inshallah. When we talk about the infinitive particle, and there's other ones too, like K sometimes. The infinitive, al-mu'awwal, interpreted. Mu'awwal means interpreted. So that means not a regular noun. It's something that's interpreted as a noun. What is that? That is here what we could translate as the infinitive. Fi nahwi, in the likes of this ayah. وأن تصوموا وأن تصوموا here. And that you fast. وأن and that تصوموا you fast. وأن تصوموا and that you fast. So one would say, I don't get it. Yeah, here. في قوله تعالى, in the saying of God Almighty, وَأَن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, and for you to fast is better for you. And for you to fast is better for you. وَأَن تَصُومُوا, and for you to fast, خَيْرٌ is better, لَكُمْ, for you. So, and for you to fast, or, and that you fast, rather, and that you fast, very literally. Wa, and that tasumu, you fast, and that you fast is better for you. So, and here, that's the infinitive particle we learned about. Sometimes you have to say it out, and sometimes you have to hide it, if you remember. Whether you say it out or you hide it, since you know about that now, it's still the same thing though. It's N. Sometimes it's mudmara, veiled. And sometimes it's, sometimes it's not mudmara. Sometimes mudmara, you say N mudmara, the hidden N. And so it's going to be right before the verb there. And sometimes it's not mudmara, so it's right there. Okay. He says here, فَإِنَّهُ مُبْتَدَأٌ. Indeed, this infinitive is a subject. مُخْبَرٌ عَنْهُ بِخَبَرٍ. It is being told about by a predicate. This infinitive is being told on or informed about. There's a predicate informing about this infinitive. وَأَن تَصُومُوا. So if you remember, we said that N and the verb after it, why we're calling it infinitive particle, because N amounts to the word to. Like you could say, to eat. So if someone said, I like to eat, that's like saying, I like eating. And eating here, that's a noun. That's a gerund, a verbal noun. It's a verbal noun, a gerund. It's a noun though. When you say eat, I like to eat, this eat, that's a verb. And this to, we're going to say, that's a particle. Those two work together, hand in hand. It's two. Two is the cog. Yani N in Arabic is the cog that whenever it links up with a verb, then that verb can be like a noun with that particle. That verb with a particle becomes at the strength of a noun and has the meaning together have the meaning of a noun. So, وَأَن تَصُومُوا means siyamukum, your fasting, khayrun lakum, is better for you. Or sawmukum khayrun lakum, your fasting, that's a noun, is better for you. Let me know if you have any question there. So he said about the definition of mubtada. He said here, huwa al-ism, the ism part, we just talked about it. So that means as an ism, that includes a regular noun and it includes an infinitive, al-masdar al-mu'awwal. What about the rest of this definition? Al-mujarradu anil awamil al-lafziyati lil-isnad, devoid of pronounced agents for making a connection. Let's see. He says, وَخَرَجَ بِالْمُجَرَّد, and what's excluded by saying devoid نحو زيد في كان زيد عالما is the example of Zaid in this sentence. كان زيدا عالما. Zaid was a scholar, or Zaid was a knower. Could say knower without meaning scholar. عالم. فإنه لم يتجرد عن العوامل اللفظية. Indeed, this example is not devoid of a verbalized agent. So what's he talking about here? So this is nice setup to get you ready for something that shall come. His example is كان زيد عالما. Zaid was. So Zaid was a knower. You might say, yeah, I mean, I see right there, there's a verb there. So what we're basically saying, right? So kana affects Zaid and kana affects aliman, unless there's another combination of words affecting each other. But okay. So yeah, there's a verbalized agent there, kana, that came before Zaid. What's the issue here? Why submit this as an example? Because in meaning here, Zaid in meaning is a subject. Zaid was a knower. But this verb here, kana, is affecting Zaid. And it's still a subject though in meaning. And it's like alim. So alim, knower, was, yani, let me keep it simple for now. You can conceive, you can understand that this word alim is describing Zaid. Alim, knower, who's that talking about? It's talking about Zaid. Yani, that's what appears to us. Zaid is the knower. He's the one being informed about or told on, basically. The one being told on is Zaid, being told about him that he's a knower. So our minds can conceive this as a subject and a predicate. So what's that verb doing there then? What is that verb doing there? That's a special kind of verb there. Kana has its own category. We'll come to talk about it, inshallah. I don't want to give you too much information now. Kana is a special type of verb. It's irregular verb in some ways, not regular verb. And kana has a whole squad of sisters that act just like her. Those are called kana wa akhawatuha, kana and her sisters. So those are going to come back. Inshallah, if Allah gives us the life and the means, I ask him to grant us that by his generosity. So here, Zaid is not devoid of, although you conceive it to be the subject of the sentence, it's not devoid of a verbalized agent. So keep the case of kana on deck. It will come back in its own chapter and you'll see what's going on. We need to clarify this chapter we're in now, the chapter of Mubtada wa Khabar, to be able to even explain kana and its sisters. That's a case built on this one. So we can't go too far here. So that's an example for you. He says, وَخَرَجَ بِالْمُجَرَّد. What's excluded by saying devoid is the likes of Zaid in saying كَانَ زَيْدٌ عَالِمًا. Zaid was a knower. فإنه لم يتجرد عن العوامل اللفظية. It is not devoid of verbalized agents, of any verbalized agent. وَنَحْوُ This is a copy I don't like. For some reason, the other copy is not opening for me. وَنَحْوُ قَوْلِكَ فِي الْعَدَدِ. And like for you to say when counting. واحد, اثنان, ثلاثة. 1, 2, 3. فَإِنَّهَا وَإِن تَجَرَّدَتْ. For indeed, in this case, these numbers here, although they are devoid of some verbalized agents, there's not something that you're saying that's coming upon them and affecting them. لكن لا إسناد معها. But there's no link. They're not linked to anything. Yani, there's no attempt to make a sentence with it. Then he goes on. He says, وَدَخَلَ تَحْتَ قَوْلِنَا لِلْإِسْنَادِ. And included in our saying, for isnad, for making a connection, to make a link, to string words together, for conveying a meaning, for isnad. Included in that is ما إذا كان المبتدأ مسندا إليه ما بعده. This includes for this mubtada, which is a subject, to be what's after it tells on it. What's after it tells on it. So this includes whether what's coming after the mubtada, telling on the mubtada, informing about it. Nahu, like Zaydun qa'im, Zayd's a stander. وَمَا إِذَا كَانَ الْمُبْتَدَأُ مُسْنَدًا إِلَى مَا بَعْدَهُ. Or, yani, and it also includes for this subject to be telling on what's after it. To be telling on what's after it. Now, this is here. I don't see that English has this function, even can accommodate it. I don't know. Maybe we can uncover something in the translation process. The mubtada is telling on what's after it. So if you're following, then inshallah it's clear for you what we're saying here. You have a subject, you have a predicate. The subject is, as the word suggests, subject here, that's a fine word. That's the points that you're trying to make here. And so what's the predicate? In Arabic, they called it khabar. That's the news about this point. So that's your informing. I'm liking this word, telling on. So that's your telling on this point. The predicate is what tells on the subject. Yani tells about it. That's clear. Okay. So according to that, then, should mean then that the subject is superior to the predicate. And that's the case. Usually in English, it is going to be for sure. Unless there's something I don't know or something we can figure out. But in Arabic, there is a way to actually make the subject tell on the predicate. How can you make the subject tell on the predicate? Now, that seems like that's circular logic. How can the subject tell on the predicate? How could it stay the subject? To be the subject means predicate's telling on it. So how could the subject be telling on the predicate? Then you just have a circle. So here he says, وَمَا إِذَا كَانَ الْمُبْتَدَأُ مُسْنَدًا إِلَى مَا بَعْدَهُ. It also includes for this initiated subject to be telling on what's after it. Nahwu, such as aqaimun zaydan. So here, aqaimun az-zaydan. Let's break that sentence down there. What does this mean? How is the subject telling on the predicate? Okay, so here, aqaimun. So the hamza, that's for asking. That's hamzatul istifham, al-istifhamiyah, the interrogative hamza. Like when you say, Afillahi shak, is there in God a doubt? Like when you say, Alam nashrah laka sadrak, did we not expand your chest for you? So it's for asking, whether it's a real question or it's a rhetorical question, it's a question. So that hamza there, it doesn't translate into any particular word. For me, that hamza even could translate just as a question mark itself. It's a question. Al-qa'imun zaydan. So hamza is for asking, and then qa'imun, yani one who's standing, someone standing. Qa'im means attributed with qiyam, attributed with standing. And the word itself is in a singular form and masculine. It's in masculine, singular, and it's an adjective describing someone attributed with standing. So, aqa'imun, a stander, as Zaydan, the two Zaids are the two Zaids. So I'm just translating as literally as I can first. A stander are the two Zaids, because qa'im is singular. So that's why I didn't say standers. A stander are the two Zaids. Aqa'imun Zaydan. We did talk about this before. Review where Ibn Hisham talked about sentence structures, how to make Arabic sentence. We said there's 6 ways to make a sentence in Arabic. What's basically happening here is this subject, it's like it has the meaning of a verb. Yaqumu. And a verb is going to be a predicate, not a subject. A verb can never be a subject of a sentence. Because a verb always needs, an action always needs an actor. A verb is an action. An action always needs an actor. It's not the actor that needs the action, it's the action that needs the actor. So the verb can never be the subject of a sentence. But this is not really a verb here, qa'im, that is a noun. And a noun can be a subject of a sentence. But in this case, this noun is behaving like a verb. So much so that what this noun, this noun wants to be a subject in control of the sentence. It's like qa'im is saying, I am a noun. I feel like being a subject today. What's up? Who's going to be my predicate? Hey, Zaydani over there. You feel like being a predicate? So Zaydani looks at qa'im. He says, you feel like being a subject today, huh? You feel strong today? You think you can handle the two Zaids? We'll tell you what. We'll make a deal with you. If you want to be the subject of this sentence, we want you to rely on a question. If you rely on a question, then you can be the subject of the sentence. So Qa'im says, oh, that's easy. I can rely on a question. Give me a hamza. There's a hamza right there. Those are easy to get. Here, I got a question right here. I'll call him. So what's up? You want to be now predicate? And then Zaydan says, you had no idea what you were getting into here. Now I'm going to commandeer you, and you're going to act like my predicate. Come here. Where are the two Zaids here? Aqa'imuni Zaydan. So now you're going to be the one who tells about us. You thought you were going to be the subject here? We'll let you stay, keep yourself, you can keep your name. We'll run things in the background here. And that's my attempt to animate what's going on there. It's going to come back, insha'Allah ta'ala, when we talk about nouns that act like verbs. You have so far learned about 2 types of nouns that act like verbs. Really, at least 3, but 2 in particular. One is adjective, keep that in mind, sifa. A sifa, an adjective, an attribute, a description, it has the meaning of a verb. And another is the al-masdar, the source of the verb, which is the gerund, the verbal noun. It can act like a verb too, but it's a noun. So keep those to the side for now. You'll need them. When it comes back, inshallah, you will have some preparation for that. Now, Ibn Hisham, he did not go into details about this particular form of sentence that we stopped on, where the subject is telling on the predicates. And really, it's necessary to change the words in this case, because really the subject can't tell on the predicate. It's not possible, because it's going to lead to a circle. So I've just been saying subject and predicate until now to make sure I don't get confusing, inshallah. But really, we need to change the words in this particular structure. So as Zaydan, Qa'im, he was looking for a predicate, but he didn't know that Zaydan was looking for a predicate too. And that Qa'im, he didn't realize or think about the fact that he's just an adjective. It's not as strong as a regular noun. Zaydan, that's a regular noun. That's not an adjective. He's a full-blooded noun. Adjective, he's got some verbiness about him. It's not as strong as regular noun. So while he was looking for a predicate, he didn't know Zaydan was looking for a predicate too. And he tried to make Zaydan his predicate, but didn't realize that Zaydan could flip it on him. And Zaydan's going to make him his predicate. So this is a subject, Qa'im, he's a subject. And as Zaydan is a verbal subject that fills the space of a predicate. A verbal subject that fills the space of a predicate. So basically, Qa'im was a noun, an adjective though, looking for a predicate. As Zaydan is also a noun, but not an adjective, so he's full-blooded noun. He's tougher. He wants a predicate too. Qa'im, in our little illustration here, he doesn't know that there are tougher nouns around there that can come and flip it on him and make him be their subject, their predicate. So they came across as Zaydan and thought that he's saying, okay, look, you stand behind me so you can be my predicate. I'll be the subject of this sentence. Let's play grammar. I'll be the subject of this sentence. You be my predicate, stand behind me. So as Zaydan says, you need a predicate to stand behind you, huh? Well, only if you rely on a question. If you rely on a question, we'll stand behind you in the sentence. So Qa'im says, okay, that's fine enough, I guess. Hey, throw me a Hamza. Here, I have my Hamza right here. Now, I'm relying on a question. And then as Zaydan says, that's all we needed. Now, you're going to be our predicate. But we'll just let you stay in the front. We'll even let you keep your name. And you're going to act like a verb. And we're going to be, while you were all this time trying to be a nominal subject, we are a verbal subject, and we're going to commandeer you and make you our verbal predicate. But you can just keep your names Mubtada if you want. You just keep your hands on that question over there. And then, as Zaydan, they take over the sentence. So, aqa'imun Zaydan, standing are the two Zaids. This is close I can get the translation, inshallah. Tayyib. Now, the author, he wants to talk about the khabar, the predicate, the nominal predicate. But let's stop here, inshallah ta'ala. Do you have any question I can answer for you? I hope that was clear, inshallah ta'ala. This case, about this type of sentence structure, I didn't understand it at first. So if it didn't click for you, maybe that's normal, especially for non-Arab And maybe even for some Arabs, I don't know if it clicks for them immediately. How am I distinguishing between the infinitive and the gerund? Good question. I'm saying infinitive for something that comes along with a particle. So the infinitive is the particle and the verb together. The gerund is the mere verbal noun itself. So here where I wrote for you, I like to eat. I like eating. The first one, that's the infinitive. The second one, that's the gerund. This infinitive, they will call that in Arabic al-masdar al-mu'awwal, the interpreted gerund. Interpreted gerund. Amin wa fikum.